Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of College Ball with J-Dog. First thing before we get going with the video, y'all please do our YouTube stuff for me. Hit that like button. Give me the thumbs up. Hell, give it a thumbs down if you don't like it. Get in the comment section. I'm going to be eating crow here in a minute. I gave y'all best bet and upset pick. Neither one of them hit. So I'll eat crow on that. Hit that bell for me, please. Hit the bell, go up, hit all, help you get my videos. We're slowly moving up. I was trying to get to 100 by week one. We're nowhere close, but I appreciate everybody that's subscribed and everybody that will subscribe. We had some upsets this weekend. We had some blowouts. We had some close calls, y'all. I told y'all these weekends like this that everybody's sleeping on. There's one ranked versus ranked matchup the whole weekend. What happened? You had 4 upsets. And you had some close calls. And a lot of teams played Division II teams, a bunch of blowouts. As the year goes on, you know, them weekends, they get a little lower and lower every year. So next week, we got a lot of good games. We'll go over those as the week goes on. Look right here. 4 upsets, y'all. We're going to cover all these games. I don't consider one of them an upset, but all the other ones I do. Told y'all it's going to be one of those weekends. I knew that's usually how it goes. First thing we're going to cover, since I'm a Tennessee man, we're going to cover ETSU and Tennessee. Not much to talk about on it. I said on the other day, Vols by 50. We won by more than 50. 72-17. Broke the program record for points in a game. It was 71. We got 72, so we beat it by a point. We've been close multiple times under Heupel in games like this. Liked how Aguilar looked. The only thing I really could complain about from yesterday is the receivers had some drops. We need to get that cleaned up before Georgia comes to town. There was a bad snap that basically gave ETSU a touchdown and gave them the ball like 3 or 4 yard line. But besides that, we dominated start to finish like we were supposed to. Chris Broswell, Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, Miles Kitselman all had really good games. Got the young guys some reps. I think McIntyre looked pretty good. I think Merklinger looked pretty good. I still think McIntyre's the future, y'all. He's just got way too much arm talent, and he's pretty athletic. He doesn't look like he'd be as athletic with the tall, skinny frame he's got. But he definitely showed some athleticism, y'all. Tennessee versus Georgia this Saturday, y'all. We find out what we're made of. Game day's in town. Thanks to an upset yesterday, they wasn't going to be in town. Now they are. So, ball fans, you better get up early Saturday, do what you got to do, get ready, watch game day. Then you got 3.5 hours to get ready, get fired up for the first win against Georgia since 2016. It's coming, y'all. That's the only team Heupel ain't got, and it's about to happen. We're going to go ahead and cover this game while we're on the subject. UCLA, UNLV, y'all. Nico and UCLA fall 2-0-2. I've got some favorite Owens, y'all. So I like Owen Wilson. I like Owen Hart. Right now, my favorite Owen is UCLA because they're 0-2. I love it. I don't see them winning more than 3 or 4 games, y'all. UNLV is supposed to be one of the games on their schedule that they win. And it ended up being a 1-score game, but they was down 23-0 at one point, y'all. They're bad. They're terrible. Nico's dad killed that kid. A lot of people's tired of hearing about him. I'm not. As long as they keep losing, I'll talk about it on this channel and eat every damn second of it up. That's what you get, trying to get more money, saying you need a better offensive line, better receivers here. I bet you wish you had our old line of receivers now, don't you, buddy? Thank your dad for that. I mean, your dad killed you, dude. And maybe you should have manned up, took up for yourself. I just wanted to go over that game real quick, y'all. I told y'all I picked UNLV. I didn't think they'd actually win it. I thought UCLA would pull a close one out. That's how much talent UCLA doesn't have. They're losing to UNLV, who struggled against Idaho State 2 weeks ago. Gave up over 500 yards, almost 600. And then they bounced back and beat Sam Houston by 17. Well, they just got a Power 4 win over the most overrated quarterback in football. I loved every second of it. I can't lie and say I didn't. Right here's I'm going to eat some crow right here, y'all. Duke, Illinois. I picked Duke to win this game. They made me look stupid. They really played just as good as Illinois as far as moving the ball, doing things like that. Where they didn't play good was turnovers. Not beating nobody with 5 turnovers. They had 4 fumbles, 1 interception, y'all. You're not beating UNLV if you're Duke with 5 turnovers, much less Illinois. I still think Illinois is a little overrated, but they shut me up this week. They did what they had to do. Duke didn't. So congratulations, Illinois. Thanks for making me look terrible. Like I said, West Virginia made me look bad too. I figured they'd cover the 3.5 spread against Ohio. Their defense played their ass off. They had like 3 or 4 interceptions. Only gave up 17 points, and a Rich Rodriguez team couldn't score more than 10 points. Might be a long year in West Virginia, y'all. That was one of my best bets, too, was West Virginia to win more than 5.5 games, I think it was. That was one of my over-under bets before the season started, so blame away. Another surprising score. This team won, y'all. They was favored by 35 points, 35.5. I moved the spread down to freaking 23.5. They couldn't even cover it. It's 23-7, y'all. They only had 10 at halftime. Louisiana Tech has really not ever been good. They might be a little better than I think they are this year. I don't really keep up with them. But LSU should win that game by way more than 16. I don't care what the weather looked like. Well, whatever looked like, they should have played better in this game. After a win against Clemson last week, I thought just maybe Brian Kelly turned corner. But now I'm not so sure, y'all, because Clemson didn't look that yesterday either. Are both of them overrated? It's possible. Look at the Clemson score. 27-16. They was down 16-0, y'all. Or 16-3, something like that. I think it was 16-0. They scored the next 27, get a win. Kate Klubnik played okay. Troy gave them a scare there for a while. Not impressed by LSU or Clemson this week. Doesn't mean they're going to have bad seasons. Could just be a hangover from a hard-fought Week 1 game. But that's something to keep an eye on. LSU's got Florida this weekend. And I don't know about that one. LSU should probably win that one. But you never know. We'll go ahead and cover it while we're going over it. The Gators got chomped yesterday, y'all. Byron Brown, man, he's just a beast, y'all. He's not the best thrower of the ball, but I'll be damned if he can't move the ball down the field. He can run. He had 17 carries, 66 yards, y'all. That doesn't even tell the story how good he ran the ball. He got tough yards, made the plays at the end of the game when they needed him to. He was 23-36, 262 and a touchdown, no interceptions. He played a really good game, y'all. And what we really need to do, instead of bragging on him, is we got to clap it up for USF's defense, y'all. They stifled Florida. Florida had a couple of scores brought back. Don't commit penalties. I mean, they were brought back on good calls. If there's bad calls, I tell you. Like I said, I'm not no clickbait guy on this channel. Obviously, I'm a Vol fan. I can't stand the Gators. They got hosed. I would have told you. They didn't. Last drive of the game. Idiot for Florida, number 90. Spits right in South Florida's offensive lineman's face. And we just seen that Thursday in the NFL game. And then you turn around and do the same thing on a critical drive, last drive of the game, give up 15 free yards, and cost your team the game. It's St. Florida under Billy Napier. It's been since he's been there, y'all. He's in year 4. All we've heard all offseason is how great DJ Lagway was. I said I think he's overrated. He's only had a 59% completion percentage, y'all. Does he play good sometimes? Absolutely. But everybody's picking him as the best freaking quarterback in the conference. All offseason, all you heard is how good Florida's going to be this year. How good their offensive line is. They couldn't run the ball in South Florida, y'all. It's literally the same Billy Napier we've seen since he's been in Florida. Everybody hyped them up after beating LSU and Ole Miss at the end of last season. That's literally all they done last year. And everybody hyped them up. I've got a Florida buddy. He wants Napier gone. Losing to South Florida in year 4 is absolutely unacceptable, especially in the swamp. It's unacceptable, period. But in the swamp, you lose to USF in the swamp, and you're ranked 13th in the country. And everybody's hyping you up, putting out things about, if you go undefeated against this hard schedule, be the greatest team ever. You don't even get to the hard part of your schedule before you lose. I can't believe Napier ain't fired yet. It's 1 o'clock when I'm recording this video. I'm getting it up for the Titans and Broncos play. I don't know, y'all. They should have fired him last year. He ended up saving his job. Gave him a little fool's gold with them couple wins at the end of the year. I don't think he's going to make it much longer. If they lose next week, he's got to be fired. I think he should be fired today. Losing South Florida, like I said, is unacceptable. I'm happy for Alex Golesh, former Tennessee offensive coordinator. They play Miami this week. Where they win or lose that game, they're my favorite to be in the playoff as a group of 5 team. They played damn good ball last 2 weeks. He's going to have a big job after this year, y'all. He almost got the North Carolina job last year. This year, somebody will hire him. That's enough time on that game, y'all. Let's get to this one. I told y'all on freaking Thursday I didn't have the balls to pick this upset. I picked Mississippi State to cover. I told you it wouldn't surprise me at all if they won. I should have picked this one as my upset of the week. Mississippi State scores a crazy touchdown at the end of the game. They was up 17-0, y'all, and they didn't score a point until the last drive of the game. Arizona State come firing back. I told you Arizona State's overrated all offseason. Everybody's hyping up Sam Levitt. He's okay, y'all, but he looked good last year because he had Cam Scatterboo. People were loading the box because they knew the recipe to beating Arizona State last year was to stop Scatterboo. But he ain't got Scatterboo in the backfield this year, and it's showing. He's 10 of 22, 82 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks against the Mississippi State team that's not had a good defense in years. They were one of the worst in the conference last year. They'll probably be one of the worst in the conference this year. Hats off to Mississippi State, though. A good win. I knew you'd beat them. I just didn't have the balls to pick it. I picked you cover. Clap it up for Mississippi State, y'all. Good win. It's hard to go to Mississippi State and win, y'all. They're the only team in the conference that's allowed to have any kind of noisemakers. They're allowed to have the cowbells because of tradition, and nobody else allowed to have anything. Don't matter. Arizona State went on the road, lost the game. Big 12 looks like it's Iowa State right now, but you never know. That conference is crazy. Another upset I forgot to cover. K-State. I don't have nothing for this one. I'm just gonna say it. Army lost to Tarleton State last week, y'all. Kansas State barely beat North Dakota, I think it was. And then this week they turn around and lose to Army. They're 1-2, y'all. And I was this damn close to being 0-3. There's everybody's Big 12 pick, including mine. So, I don't know. Not looking good for Coach Kleiman. He lost to Army after they freaking lost to Tarleton State. Kansas State's in shambles, y'all. Maybe they can bounce back. It's not looking good for them. I forgot all about that upset when I got this video ready. Up next, let's cover. We'll go Iowa State, Iowa, y'all. This game hardly ever gets over 20 points apiece. It's always a damn defensive battle. Iowa never has offense. Their quarterbacks very rarely even throw for 100 yards, y'all. I think their quarterback threw for like 84 yesterday, which was 50 more than he threw in the opener. Iowa State had a lot of chances to blow this game open. They just couldn't get touchdowns in the red zone. They had to kick field goals. There was a Iowa person hit Iowa State's kicker punt returner. It bounced off of them. Iowa recovered it. The rest said the guy was blocked into him. He was not blocked into him, but that gave Iowa some free points. Iowa State really dominated this game as far as stat line goes, but they only won by 3. I picked Iowa State to win this game. So it was about exactly like I said it would be. I said they win probably about 6, I think 6 points, something like that. They won by 3. Iowa had a little bit of help from the rest, but you can't cry about spilled milk. It's just like I figured it'd be, low scoring, like it always is. This game right here, y'all, Baylor and SMU, all game. High scoring. Baylor was down 24-10 at one point. Let's come crawling back. Y'all, Sawyer Robertson is a damn good quarterback. 440 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. And he had almost 400 against Auburn, too. Their problem against Auburn was they just couldn't stop Jackson Arnold from running the ball. They did a lot better this week at stopping Jennings from running the ball. Jennings had good passing numbers, but his rushing numbers were, I think he had like 15 carries for like 20 yards, somewhere around there. It was nothing special at all. With Dave Aranda making defensive adjustments, y'all. I got it right here, about to put up. Yeah, Evan Jennings, he was 16, 22, 300 yards almost, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. That's a really good game. Rushing yards, he had 14 carries, 16 yards. So they went from letting Jackson Arnold run for over 100 to holding Jennings to 16 on the ground. That's a hell of a turnaround, hell of an adjustment by Dave Aranda. Auburn, I think they play. Who does Auburn play here soon? Auburn plays somebody good. I think maybe LSU or Florida, somebody. I can't remember. I seen the graphic earlier, sorry. So we'll find out what Auburn's really made out of in a week or two, y'all. I think Baylor's pretty good. I'm not, like I said, when they played Auburn, Auburn was better at every position besides quarterback. And it showed on the field, which Auburn's quarterback ran all over him. He didn't really throw the ball, Jackson Arnold. So we'll see what Auburn's really made out of. That might end up being a pretty good win for them, though, against Baylor. After Baylor pulled that comeback off yesterday against SMU, the defending ACC champs. They didn't beat Clemson in the ACC title game, but they won the conference outright during the regular season. Up next, this one was a Vegas special, y'all. Ole Miss, Kentucky. The spread on this game was 8.5. Kentucky kicks a field goal with 8 seconds left to make it a 7-point game. You mean to tell me, Bob, that Stoops didn't know what the spread was? He didn't hear people talking all week how Ole Miss was going to cover the spread this year? Ole Miss got the win, y'all. Wasn't pretty. Austin Simmons, 13-24, 235, 2 interceptions. How you have a QBR of 80 with 2 picks is beyond me. I guess where he had like 17, 18 yards per completion still. Ole Miss ran the ball good, 28 carries, 138 from the running back, a touchdown. Austin Simmons didn't really impress me, y'all. Luckily for me, I moved spread 6.5, so I still covered. But if you just take the regular spread, you just got introduced to the Vegas special, where a coach covers the spread instead of being worried about winning the game. That's what Stoops did yesterday. I guess you could say, oh, he's trying to get the field goal and then get an onside kick and throw a Hail Mary. No, he was trying to cover the spread. Zach Calzado looked terrible. He had turned the ball over. Cutter Boley got a couple of throws. Cutter Boley was a highly rated guy. Tennessee looked at him, decided to go with McIntyre. He's supposed to be in this class, but he reclassified, so he's at Kentucky now. We got Faison Brandon now. We got McIntyre last year. He 1 for 3. He just got a little bit of a few throws. Kentucky impressed me just with the fact that they scored 20 points, but it was never really in doubt. They played pretty tough. Ole Miss didn't look that great, which they didn't. They looked better this year than they did last year against Kentucky, so that might be a good omen for them down the road. I'm not sure. I'm not sold on Simmons like everybody else is. That's all you heard all offseason is how good Simmons is going to be. He had 1 or 2 drives against Georgia last year, and everybody's hyped him up all offseason because of it. Just like Lagway, just like Arch. Arch looked better yesterday, but he still had his moments. Lagway still hasn't shown that he's the best quarterback in the conference. I mean, people overreact to a drive or two. There was a guy that had Aguilar ranked last in the conference behind Calzada and some other guys. You're not going to be a Josh Heupel quarterback and be last in the conference. You're just not. This game right here, y'all, I just want to go over it because it's such a blowout. The spread was 27.5. Oregon absolutely cooked Oklahoma State's ass yesterday, y'all. 69-3. Gundy was building in excuses before the game even happened. Oh, they spend this much money on their roster. Oh, Dan Lanning said, well, we spend money. You want to be cheap, so you have excuses for why you lose. That's the name of the game nowadays, Gundy. You pay to play. Not that I hate it, but that's the name of the game. You got to pay to play. Gundy, this is last year, y'all. I mean, everybody might as well accept it. His little charm, his mullet, it's played out. You got to win games. You can't just be funny in front of a mic. You got to win games. Last year, they won 3. They was the favorite to win the Big 12. Supposed to have the best running back in the country. Had the most returning players in the Big 12. Won 3 games. This year, barely escaped by Tennessee Martin. Then get beat by 66 points against Oregon. That program is at rock bottom right now, y'all. Oklahoma State used to have some good teams here and there. They'd always pull off an upset. Usually the years Gundy was doubted was his best years. Well, they was doubted this year, and they're going to be lucky to win 3 or 4 games, y'all. I mean, they got absolutely splattered yesterday. They got double the spread. The spread was double. Over doubled. That's an ass whooping. So, if you're a Gundy fan, you better join him this year because there is no way Oklahoma State keeps him after this year. We got one more game to cover, y'all. It was the big game of the weekend. OU, Michigan. It wasn't even really a contest, y'all. I mean, I hate to be like that. The score shows it was closer than the game really was. It went exactly how I figured it would. John Mateer looked pretty good. I'm still not sold on him like everybody else is. Everybody else is talking about him like he's second coming. He had a pretty good game yesterday. He had some bad plays too, which all quarterbacks are going to have some bad plays. Like I said, I'm just not sold on him because I'm not sold on this Michigan team. My buddy Jason calls me a Michigan hater. I'm not trying to be a hater. I just think you're a year away. You got a talented young quarterback. You need more weapons around him. I think your defense is taking a step back this year after all the guys you lost to the NFL. You went on the road. That was my biggest thing was the freshman quarterback on the road. And he looked like a freshman on the road. Brent Venables, one of the best DCs in the country. I know he's the head coach now, but he's calling the plays on defense. Not many freshmen have luck against Venables. I'm not down on Bryce Underwood because of it. Like I said, I just think he's a year away and a few weapons away. I don't think Michigan has enough weapons to make him look any better than he does as a freshman. He's a talented kid. He could end up being one of the best quarterbacks. He's at least a year away, better weapons away. He's 9-24, y'all, 142, no touchdowns, no interceptions. At least he didn't turn the ball over. 40 QBR. The one thing Michigan has going for them, which it was the one big run. Besides that, they didn't run the ball good either. You look at 19 carries, 125 yards, you think, damn, they ran the ball good. No, they had 175-yard run. And besides that, they got stuffed all game, Without that 75-yard run, that's 18 carries for 50 yards from Justice Haynes. So they had one long run. Besides that, their offense was stifled all game. They was never really in it. Good win for Brent Venables. He needed a win like that. He's still got a rough schedule ahead of him. I'm not sold on Oklahoma yet. He gets another couple big wins. I might change my mind, but I don't think that win against Michigan is as impressive as some people do. Going into the year, I had Michigan as one of my most overrated teams. Their over-under win total was 9.5. I said there's no way they make it there. So you got to beat somebody that I had up there for me to be impressed. Like I said, I wasn't impressed with Michigan coming into the year. I wasn't impressed with them last night. Not trying to be a hater. Just think you're a year or two away. You got a great quarterback. You need better weapons. And need some more depth on defense, which will probably happen. You just lost a lot of guys to the NFL last year. It happens. Everybody goes through it. Not everybody can rebuild as fast as other teams. Some people just plug and play, lose a guy, got another NFL guy there. Michigan's not recruited on that level just yet. They're getting there. They keep being invested in NIL. They'll get there. A good win for Oklahoma. Get the fans off of Venables back a little bit. He's still got a gauntlet ahead of him. I think it's Oklahoma who plays Auburn, actually, in 2 weeks. That's Saturday recap, y'all. Was there any surprises that y'all seen that you wasn't surprised by? The one that I was most surprised by was USF over Florida. I picked USF to cover the 18.5-point spread, but I never in my life imagined that they would come in and win that game. I'm happy for Alex Golesh. All the other games besides the two, my best bet, my upset pick, went about the way I figured they'd go. On the ones I picked last week, the Clemson game and the LSU game were a lot closer than I expected. Kansas State losing to Army blew my mind after Army just lost to Tarleton State. I think it's going to be one of those wild football seasons, y'all. If you've been a football fan for a while, you remember the 07 season, how crazy it was. Last year was pretty wild too, but 07 was the wildest football season ever since I've been alive. We could be looking at one of those years, y'all. With the NIL and the portal and all that stuff, college football is getting crazy. You never know what's going to happen on every Saturday. So I'm glad the new portal rule, there's going to be a 10-day window, y'all, in January. January 2nd, January 12th. You got 10 days to enter the portal. Don't have to go to another team at that point, but you got to enter the portal in those 10 days. If you don't, you're stuck on that team till next year. I love that rule. I'm glad they implemented it. Trying to think if I missed anything. I don't think I did. If I did, we'll cover it tomorrow. If y'all see anything I left out, y'all tell me in the comments. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll preview the big games this week. We'll talk about a few things. If any breaking news happens, we'll talk about it. I appreciate y'all tuning in as always. If you haven't done it, please hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you liked it, the videos. Even if you don't, just subscribe and say you did. I'll catch y'all next time. See you tomorrow. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless you. And as always, go Vols.